But this was one of the more graphic and bizarre chats we had seen.
I was wrong for doing what I did. I know that. I will do anything to help you guys out.
What can you do to help us out?
Chris Hansen himself said this was one of the most vile people they ever caught in any of their investigations. And despite all that, this dude really thought he could actually get out of this situation and in fact help Chris Hansen with his investigations. I have no idea how that would go down. But one thing I do know is you're watching Grimm. It's another classic TCAP episode reaction. Let's just get right on into it. Much like a lot of these older classic episodes, I believe they say this was their second investigation. The show itself doesn't really show much of them approaching. So we're gonna have the first shot is him just walking right on into the house, and let's see how he reacts. One thing you will notice, this dude mouths to himself, "Where's the dog?" Because, well, as disgusting as it is, there was talk of this person's dog in the chat logs, and him not even hearing a dog or seeing any like food or toys around for the dog makes him instantly suspicious. Anyways, let's get right on into it, shall we?
What's that?
I got a skirt I'm gonna put on. So just wait at the counter for a second.
All right.
Thanks.
So right away, this dude is just looking everywhere. I don't know if he's looking for cameras. I don't know really what he's looking for, but it is suspicious and scary. And I know I always judge these guys based off the way they walk in. I should just judge them automatically for being on this show at all and know that they're probably pretty dangerous and scary. But when they come in super sus like this and they're just inspecting every element, or then even worse in cases where they chase down the direction of the voice of the decoy instantly, those are the ones that are scariest to me personally.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Why don't you have a seat right around the stool?
I'm just...
Go ahead, just have a seat.
I love that he's instantly like, I'm just, oh God, my brain's too stupid. I can't think of an excuse. I'm just existing. That's it. And Chris is like, hey, look out. You're fine. Just have a seat. We got a good 10 minutes of awkward conversation up ahead of us. So why don't you slow your roll, get calm. That's the other thing too. You're going to be hearing stuff like you might have thought he was laughing throughout those first couple clips, but actually I believe this guy has some form of like a tic. You know, I don't know if he has Tourette's syndrome or what, or if this is just anxiety manifesting in this way, but he does do this little vocal tick throughout this entire video, I'm pretty sure.
What's happening?
How much?
What are you here for?
Just come to talk to him.
Come to talk to who?
That's it. What's that?
You seem a little nervous.
And, hey, I might be reading this differently, but I feel like Chris is being super, super scary Chris in this moment. Like, the way that he is just piercing this dude with his eyes is terrifying. As he's asking the age-old question, what are you doing here? The answer this guy has, which makes me think that he thinks Chris is either a law enforcement officer or the father of this person that he was talking to, is he doesn't even say a name. He's just like, I was just talking to her. That's it. It was just talk, which is an insane excuse to make, especially as you're sat right now in this person's home when you thought their parents were gone and they were home alone. But, you know, you can keep saying it all you want. Apparently, it's just talk.
Why are you so nervous?
I was just coming to talk to somebody, that's all.
Talk to who?
Just talk, that's all. Nothing more.
How old is he?
She didn't tell me.
Wow, dude. Okay, we got a combo of literally the most basic combo that you would learn if TCAP was a fighting game. The number one combo these guys would learn off rip is, I was just talking. It was nothing more than just simple talk. And also, she did not tell me her name. Sadly, that combo itself can easily be countered, and Chris is a master of this game, so I'm sure he's gonna, you know, talk past this point and be like, well, I have a sheet here that shows that this person explicitly told you which age they were about 20 different times. In fact, I'm willing to bet in parts of this guy's chat log, he even talks about the fact that they are so young. You know, usually they kind of ooh and ah over that, which is just terrible, but they're, you know, often making comments about that specific attribute of them. And then when they're sat in front of Chris, they really have the balls to say, yeah, I didn't know what age they were. I figured they were an adult, because I'm pretty sure you got to be an adult to use the internet. Duh.
Try again.
I saw 14, but she
says, how about you date 12?
Wow. And the decoy said that they were 12. This dude also does another move that these creeps do. I really don't know why this is. They seem to think that there are degrees of like being messed up when you're under 18 and all that. I don't really subscribe to that. I think any age that you could have named would be as foul as possible. But he's like, oh, I think she said 14, right? They always try to overestimate by a couple years just to make it sound a little bit less bad. Or there's been some that are like, I'm pretty sure they're 17, right? But their birthday's like next week, I'm pretty sure, if they told me correctly. So that's why I was just over here to talk, and then next week, you know, maybe we were gonna go on a date or something, but no, I'm not that kind of guy. This dude's just pulling out all the stops, isn't he? It's kind of ridiculous.
I have it right here. I have the transfer thing.
Can I see the...
Well, I'm not done with it. In the early investigations, we didn't have it down to a system like we do now.
Okay, and to explain this awkward moment, why this dude's like, no, that's not me. Chris actually, like I said, this was their second investigation. He's still learning the ropes. Yes, he was a distinguished reporter before this, I'm pretty sure, but there are some steps that need to be made before they even see this guy face to face. Apparently, someone messed up the piles of the paperwork, and he's actually reading the chat logs of somebody else. So thankfully, I don't think this is going to completely derail the situation. It looks like one of his assistants, looks like Dell, aka the GOAT decoy, hands him the actual files that he needed for this, but that is insane that they're able to mess up that much. The theme lately on this channel for the TCAP reactions has been just them absolutely fumbling the bag multiple times throughout these investigations, so it's kind of a wonder that they even had this show successful for as long as it was. As much as I love it, like, come on, you got to get the right chat logs in order. I know the guys come up every 15 minutes or so, they said, but you got to be on top of that stuff.
So you thought it was okay to come here to see a 14-year-old girl live?
Oh, okay. And that's the other detail. Apparently the dude was not lying. The other creep, it was a 12-year-old. But when he said 14, that was truthful. So that is the one time this dude has been honest. Maybe he realizes it's best to be honest from here on out. And at this point, I think this dude is so stressed out that he doesn't even seem to be able to speak English. Chris is just going on reading this chat log, which of course, as I always say, I have to skip a majority of, especially with this guy, because he is exceptionally going into the weeds with this stuff. Like, insane that a human's hands could actually type these things out and hit enter on a chat log, regardless of the age of the person they're speaking to. But either way, this dude is just sitting here kind of rocking very slightly, making this weird breathing sound, and I really think it almost sounds like he's having a seizure at this point. I don't know if you can have a stress-induced seizure, but this dude's at about 99% of that threshold right there, and I feel like he could go at any moment. It's kind of stressful.
Then you say, and there was just something, watch your hand, I want to see your hand.
I'm sorry.
And you say there was just something about a teen body.
Did I not freaking call that earlier? Did I not freaking call that? Oh my God, if you guys could see me right now, I am doing the robot so poorly. You could probably hear it in my voice, but anyways, dude, I am just a freaking predictor. I swear, obviously, there are like a couple seconds that I will watch of a video just to make sure that it's quality enough, but I don't go ahead to fake my reactions and stuff like that. When I guess stuff like that, like this dude typing explicitly about the actual age of the person and the fact that they're a teenager, I was just calling that out of instinct and knowing that these guys are idiotic enough to do that. Wow, I'm good at this.
I know what was in there, and I was talking. I mean, we were talking. That was it. I wasn't planning on doing nothing. I was just talking. It was just a conversation.
There's a lot of talk here.
And then he double, if not triples down at this point on the whole it was only talk thing. And I have to say this every single time. It's so ironic these dudes say this when they're face to face with Chris in the house of the decoy. They've been told that there are no adults around. That's the only reason they showed up. Before he was there, this dude was smiling. He was probably super excited. You cannot possibly tell somebody that this is all talk at this point and that you didn't act on it. No, this was you fully acting on it. And had Chris not been here, something terrible would have gone down. 100,000%. I would bet all my life savings on it. All right, that's a good bet to make.
Listen, I have had a problem with an internet addiction talking with the females. I've never done anything with the females that I've talked to. I just try and get help with it.
And now this dude's just spilling the beans. Apparently he knows deep down that he has had an internet addiction to speaking to these people, which is something Chris talks about in a lot of the interviews he does about this show. It's an element of this that you don't really think about. These guys, they really do start out. It's a fantasy and it's just something they're addicted to. They are compulsive with going online and speaking to people that they shouldn't be speaking to. And now he has done it for so long that that wasn't enough, just talking. And that's why he showed up to this house. Now, he's probably lying about the fact that this is his first time. They mostly are. But, you know, even if this is his first time, it's honestly good that it happened in front of Chris Hansen, because now this guy can maybe get some sort of help that it seems that he desperately needs. Of course, he's going to go to jail too, but, you know, maybe that can be the cherry on top.
And I'm trying to cut all of it. I really am. I have a psychiatrist I'm seeing now. It was just talk, that's all.
There's a lot of talk here.
Yeah, bro, I don't care if you just started talking to him. You got to go into some emergency sessions, all right, bro? BetterHelp, if you're using that, not that it was around back then, is not going to be doing enough. You need some top-of-the-line help mentally if this is seriously what you're doing with your life. Now, I do give this guy props for trying to mitigate the situation before it got to a point where it's too bad. But obviously, if you're sitting across from Chris Hansen in this house being filmed, like I said, that is already past the point of no return. I really don't think this dude's fit to be, you know, walking around with general society. Let's just lock him the freak up. But maybe while he's incarcerated, he can go through some things mentally and figure out why this compulsion exists.
I guess you're going to tell me next that this is the very first time you've done something like this.
Actually, it is. I'm serious.
How do you expect me to believe that? You know,
Look at, dude, I swear Chris is on one in this investigation. I don't know, it's something about the eyes. Usually he's not this scary, but he's just striking fear into my own soul here, and I'm not even this guy sitting here. I'm just reacting to it like 15 years later. That's the power of Chris Hansen, dude.
And I think it's great what you guys are doing. I was wrong for doing what I did. I know that. I will do anything to help you guys out.
well, what should happen to you?
Interesting turn of events here. I've never seen somebody try this out. Apparently this dude recognizes the show, or maybe thinks that Chris is a cop, and he turns the dial and is like, you know what, I'm caught, yes, but I know inside the minds of these guys, I can help you. You know, I've seen those shows where they get a dude who's, you know, iced people in the past to solve cold case murder stuff. I could be that guy. You know what I'm saying? I could help with your department or your investigation, whatever you're doing. Like, it is just reeking of desperation right now, but I love it.
Honestly, I'd like to be able to be given the chance to help you guys out any way I can.
What can you do to help us out?
Anything that you suggest.
And the dude doesn't even offer any ideas of how he could help. This is like the worst job interview of all time. He's just like, I swear I could help. I don't exactly know how. I'm just trying to get out of the situation right now, but dude, please let me help. And Chris is like, if you give me an idea, maybe we could work something out, but I doubt it.
I'm Chris Hansen of Dateline NBC. We're doing a story on computer records. I'm free to leave right now. If there's anything else you want to say, we're happy to hear it.
So the nervous guy leaves without really a word. He's very clearly shocked by this whole thing going down. Again, I'm not really sure if he knew who Chris Hansen was and was saying it because of that. Because again, remember, this is their second investigation. Would be a little bit strange if they already knew about his show, but I guess it's possible. But yeah, with that, he leaves, and it seems like this dude is not going to get the job, unfortunately, of being on Chris Hansen's crew and helping them out. Shocker, I know, but that is not how you get a job with an investigation team, is actually being on the receiving end of the investigation.
But this was one of the more graphic and bizarre chats we had seen up until that point, and really ranks right up there even now.
And as a closing statement from Chris Hansen there, as you can hear, apparently this dude was just truly one of the darkest people they caught on this show. So I like cases like this where it may not even be as funny, obviously, as the other ones, but it's just insane to see what people are capable of conjuring up in their brains and going through with. This dude never should have showed up to this house. He never should have been in those chats in the first place. And sadly, his help with the psychiatrist was too late and not enough. Let me know what you thought of this episode down in the comments below. If you are still enjoying the TCAP reactions, gonna be rotating in with the other shows, obviously. Check out the Patreon as always. Thank you for everybody showing support over there. Gonna have some new videos going up. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, peace out.